All right, we have a special session. We have all attendees present. We'll call the special planning commission meeting to vote on business item to order. We're a Zoom meeting, so Ethan can call us, call a roll call attendance.
Dan,
Here.
Jamie,
Here.
Susanna,
Here.
Charlie,
Here.
Mike,
Here.
Jason, not gonna make it. Eddie,
Ethan.
got myself.
All right. So I don't have any information in front of me. First order of business is special vote on is everybody in a super hurry? Are we're trying to still knock it out 10 minutes? We got stuff to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So does anyone need first did anyone have a chance to review minutes?
Yes,
Yeah.
I read the minutes.
Anybody have a comment about the minutes?
I thought they
Like a-
looked really good.
Super. Can we move to approve them? We have two sets.
Move to approve.
Move to approve both?
Yes.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Just for the record, note that they are May 7th and June 4th.
Thank you, Boyd. So motion for May 7th, June 4th meetings, meeting minutes to be approved. All those in favor, I guess we'll do a roll call vote.
Well, we can quick discussion. I just wanted to say, Ethan, did you put in the notes, or Garrett, did you put in the notes of the instruction session? That was good. I just wanted to say that.
I did that.
It was nice to have a summary of what we did. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys are fancy, man. You guys are good cats to have. All right, any further discussion? All right, hearing none, we have a roll call vote.
Dan,
Yes.
Dana,
Did you say Susanna?
yes.
Oh, yes.
Charlie,
Approved.
Mike,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
myself, I approve.
Only order of business is regards a lease agreement for the MAC for the nonprofit Signal Mountain Preservation Fund. All right, does anyone have any questions, or are we on to? Has everyone had a chance to review the agreement?
Yes.
I think it would be good if Boyd explained why the planning commission votes on this and the purpose.
Okay.
There are certain things that law requires that are mandatory referrals to the planning commission, and this is one of them under TCA 13-4-104. It lists the things that have to be referred. In the highlighted section, you'll see the widening, narrowing, relocation, vacation, change in use, acceptance, acquisition, sale, or lease. And in this case, lease is the important word, of any street or public way, ground, place, property, or structure shall be subject to similar submission and approval, and failure to approve may be similarly overruled. It requires that these things be sent to the planning commission for consideration and approval. Should the planning commission not approve it, the town council can override that and still approve it. Obviously, the best scenario is we have two decision-making bodies for the town that both approve. But there is a mechanism to move forward otherwise. So that's why we're here. The reason for the special meeting with the issues with the pandemic and everything that have transpired in the last couple of months kind of created this, I hate you call it an opportunity, but with the town not being able to operate it in a normal fashion, SMEPF has offered to do that, operate it to the extent possible, while continuing fundraising and renovations of the property.
I'm sorry, Boyd. Is
Yes, they
someone processing like or refining steel? Maybe like if we're hewing pots and pans out of ore, maybe we can push the little MUTE button to the bottom left. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. That's pretty much it. So they have made this proposal, and I also sent out today, and I apologize that it wasn't attached to the other documents, but the proposal that outlines what the town will pay for, which is basically utilities and things like that we would normally pay for. We'll do basic maintenance. Guys will continue to mow the lawn and things like that. But as far as the general operations of the MAC in terms of programming and everything, the Preservation Fund will be handling all of that. So really to give them the ability to operate in the facility, we drafted the lease agreement, and then the MOAs basically outlines what they can and can't do, what the town will and won't do, gives them the ability to operate and contract with teachers and so forth, but only for the duration of this agreement. So it is a 1-year term. It requires notice 90 days ahead of the expiration if either party wants to continue. So in reality, it's more 8 or 9 month process, and then the town and the Preservation Fund will revisit this and see how we're doing, how things are working, and determine if we would want to continue this or if the town would want to go back to operating it as a department of the town. So that's it in a nutshell.
It seems like you got it pretty well framed out, and you have a year, and you have a limited liability, and so I think we're fortunate to have someone that wants to mess with it and like promote the use of community accessibility with one of the remaining public structures we have here in the town. Dan, did that cover all the points that you hope to cover?
Yes, I need to disclose that my wife is the head of the Preservation Fund. So I can still vote. Harry, is that accurate?
That's correct. You can still vote.
Okay.
And you expect to benefit by this agreement, Dan, by committing more sweat equity and working volunteer hours to promote the use of the facility?
That's what I hope to get out of it, is the joy of volunteerism. Yes.
Super. Does any other member have any other discussion item, or is there a motion?
If I might, just for the record, I know we've stated it many times, but since this is a vote to approve this, I think it would not hurt to just mention why it is that the mayor can vote on this, and that it is the Preservation Fund bylaws stipulate that no board member can financially benefit, take a salary or anything like that from the operation. So I just think it's wise to mention that's why he can vote, because there is no potential for financial gain.
Very good. We'll take all the volunteer effort we can get.
I've read over the lease. Are we going to talk about, I just have a few typo things and one, a little substance kind of thing.
Okay.
Is this the time to talk about that?
There's not a motion to discuss, but I guess we're kind of in general inquiry mode at the moment.
Okay. This is not a big deal, but under the term of the lease, it says the term may be extended at the discretion of the town I kind of think that it also should be by agreement of the parties, because if the preservation fund decides they don't want to continue the lease, it doesn't seem like they have the option to get out of it.
Yeah, sounds like once they're in it, the town can continue to extend it as long as they like, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
So I would just add that an agreement of the parties. And then the other things are just typos. On page 6, at the very first line, it has the word accepts, which is plural, the fourth word over, and it should just be singular. Well, I guess there's another thing. It's not really a typo, but I didn't understand this. The lease says on section 19 on page 7, last line, if the town shall, it's if something destroys the property, it says that if the town shall elect to restore the premises, the restoration shall be at the expense of the town to the extent of insurance proceeds, but no more. I would suppose that if the town wants to spend more than the insurance proceeds, they could, but this lease doesn't let them.
So you're saying if a tree fell and knocked a wing off, this is saying the town can't fix it beyond.
No,
what the
it's saying that the town can fix, at their discretion, they can fix or restore the property, but only to the extent of the insurance proceeds received. If there were no insurance proceeds received, or if the damage was greater than the insurance proceeds available, this lease precludes the town from putting more money into it if they want to.
I think the
I don't really
intent
understand
was,
why. Maybe that's a standard lease term, but that seems odd to me that the town doesn't have the discretion to put more money into it.
I think the intent was that there would not be an obligation to invest more than the insurance proceeds, so that wording can be tweaked.
Well, section 8, maintenance and upkeep, it does have a sentence about the fourth sentence, downtown may allocate additional funds in the budget for alterations, upgrades, and improvements to the premises, but it's not obligated to do so. Now it says maintenance and upkeep, allocate funds for alterations, upgrades, and improvements. You might want to have repair as well under maintenance, but I mean, I don't think that it's probably not that difficult to interpret. I don't know that it's a sticking point.
I would just change 19 at the end to say, instead of saying but no more, just put, at the discretion of the town, something like that. That's it for me on that.
Boyd, if we do that, since we haven't voted on it at the council meeting yet, assuming it gets approved here, it would be approved with those changes. And then we would be voting on it as approved, right?
Right.
Okay.
What the town has budgeted for utilities here, is that based on occupancy that they're planning for, or what is that based on?
I didn't catch the first part of that. What the town has budgeted when?
For utilities here, between electricity, water, and
Yeah, those are based on prior expenses. They're likely to change in that as the HVAC goes in and we replace the boiler, which is a huge consumer or waster of water, we'll probably see that, water go way down, but our electricity is going to go up from running the AC unit. So it's flexible in those terms, but that's what we've been seeing. So we think even through a transition process to better systems, it'll be sufficient.
Can I ask why there's a proposed budget and a predicted budget that are different?
The predicted budget was what a normal daily operations budget for the town would be if we were operating under normal circumstances. That if, and we did the same thing with the pool this year. Not knowing when we could operate, how we could operate, what would happen with revenue generation and all of that, we simply put in a business as usual budget. So we would have options as things unfolded. So that's really what that is.
I have a clarification question, just to, and I think I know the answer, but to be careful. SMEPF has hired Mike to do electrical work a bunch of times, and there's more electrical work to come. There are no issues with us hiring him to do that, right?
Not that I know of. The town has also hired him to do electrical work. I have hired him to do electrical work.
Yeah.
It is just one of the things about a small town.
Right.
We have business relationships with people that serve on our boards, and as long as they're appropriate and there's no indication or assumption that there's any benefit to someone because of a role they fill, there shouldn't be an issue. But of course, I will defer to Harry if there's a more appropriate answer.
I think you're right.
If you know, we put on a series of coffee house concerts, and I've done them for free, but if I was going to be a paid performer, just like all the other performers that have been brought through, would that be a conflict? How's that different from doing electrical work there?
Are you cats trying to sabotage me? I said it was a 10-minute meeting and now we're at 18.
No, I just want to get this clear, because you know,
Just
that could
putting it
happen.
out there. If y'all gonna criticize the chairperson, I'm letting you know I'm prepared to vote on this deal. I
You
don't
leave
have any
it-
other questions.
You leave in 10 minutes and we'll criticize you after you're gone.
That's fine. That is fine.
What do you
Harry-
think, Harry?
My only thought would be that Mike might benefit financially from this. So if Mike doesn't vote, you've got, how many of you are here?
We only have 5.
1, 2,
But-
You have
3.
six.
I have 6.
You got 6.
Oh,
Right.
you're right.
Mike, whether SMEPF, whether we enter this agreement or not, Mike's relationship with SMEPF will be the same,
Right.
because we already
that
have
right?
an
Yes.
existing agreement with them that they can do this work, and he's already been doing the work. So that agreement is what creates that relationship. This agreement really shouldn't change that, I wouldn't think.
Yeah.
But again, you're the lawyer.
Well, if this lease doesn't create that relationship, then Boyd is right. If Mike would be doing the work regardless of this lease, then approval of the lease provides no financial benefit to him.
And in terms of Dan performing, once SMEPF is operating the MAC, if there is any conflict, I would think it would be between him or Angie and SMEPF.
Yeah.
Now, the town is not party to that relationship.
And they haven't paid me so far. So that's
So
gonna
far
change.
noted.
Yeah.
All right, Jamie, let's call to the question.
All right. Any other discussion then? If y'all want to get out of worried about procurement issues, just advertise it. Advertise it, be specific about what you want, and familiarity with the system and familiarity with the type of work. Put it in the paper for a week, and then you pretty well satisfy most of the Tennessee procurement rules anyway, if you're worried about it. Or write them. I think they have it's not an ethics committee, but I think they have a standing committee you can ask, just see what they think about it. I think I mentioned that before. Generally, if they'll say, well, if you feel okay about it, you're probably all right. If you're asking the question, you're probably in the right headspace. And if it seems like it's a matter of impropriety, then run away and meet your professional obligation. But that's how it is for engineering boards anyway. All right. So is there anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a
move
motion to approve.
All right. And it looks like we got a second there from Charlie.
I'll second, sure.
All right. Is there any further discussion of the motion? Hearing none, we want to take a roll call vote. Okay.
Dan,
Approve.
Susanna,
Yes.
Charlie,
Approve.
Mike,
Approved.
Jamie,
Approve.
I myself, I approve.
Awesome. Moves to council. So having no other business, is anyone here to talk to us for any other reason?
I'll just say I appreciate you guys getting together tonight to help us with this timeline, whether, if we're going to move forward, being able to hit that July 1 mark is very helpful. So I appreciate it.
All right. Move to adjourn.
Second.
All right. Thank y'all so much for hosting and conducting business.
Thank
Guys,
you.
have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.